Hi, I'm Kevin, founder of the PP ETF. What is the PP ETF? Well, it's an exchange-traded fund that lets you invest in innovative companies that we choose for you. For example, here is, well,
real estate's freaking easy because I look at this stuff and I go, I know what to do. Stocks, I don't know. So don't ever expect Meet Kevin to sell you a stock investing course.
Kevin began his channel as a real estate agent. Stupid real estate things, you know, with his little howdy-doody smile and his whole nonsense. Those videos weren't really cutting it, so he starts going after Grant Cardone and Dave Ramsey. And it's funny because, I mean, I don't understand, like, who needs people to expose Grant Cardone as a scammer or Dave Ramsey? They're obvious scammers. If you don't know that, you're going to have a hard time in life. Okay? You're going to have a hard time in life. You don't do any research. You just believe what you hear. But Kevin went after Grant Cardone, and then what? He became Grant Cardone. He studied what Grant Cardone is doing. Grant Cardone came on YouTube after he saw Ty Lopez scam everybody. He realized, look, it's open market, open season.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge. In fact, I'm a lot more proud of these 7 new bookshelves that I had to get installed to hold 2,000 new books that I bought. It's like the billionaire Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn. Now, maybe you've seen my TEDx talk where I talk about how I read a book a day. You know, I read a book a day not to show off. It's, again, about the knowledge. In fact, without so much stress, traveling the world, doing those things that you know you're destined to do. You can't do those unless you understand finances. Money, I don't call it money anymore. I call it fuel units. You must have enough fuel units to live out your dream and to live out your destiny. So I'll see you on my website. It's a quick video, and you'll see there, absolutely free. So just click this video and you'll be taken there in a second. And
then they had the SEC pass the crowdfunding law and other laws which had to do with Reg FD, allowing hedge funds, private equity, to be raised to solicit it publicly. That's when the scams began. That's when the SEC really screwed up. Big problem. The scams galore. That's why you got Grant Cardone pitching his real estate bullshit, which are basically enormous fee structure. Okay, and what Grant Cardone does is he basically makes all these false claims, and he's another guy that shows money. Anybody that shows money, look at this money, all the checks coming in, look at my money. Folks, who would do that? Like, what shameless money worshiping loser would do that? He's doing that to cater to the broke, desperate people. Anybody who shows money and talks about all this money, they do that, they're a scammer. Write it down. Guaranteed. Every time. I will guarantee it every freaking time. Kevin did it too. This is no different than the lifestyle scam. You know, how these trading gurus, and by the way, all guys that promote trading services are scammers. Day trading as a investment strategy, long term, is a lie. It's a scam. Okay, I've already talked about that. People promoting trading for a living and they say they make millions, they're liars and fraudsters, all of them. Remember, I'm Mike Stathis. I'm one of the top investment analysts in the world. I worked on Wall Street. I've advised multi-billion-dollar funds, hedge funds, mutual funds, endowments, pension plans. all these trading guys, whether it's Tim Sykes or his little so-called millionaire students, which that's all a big scam. And then you've got all these other guys, Trading Institute, and Antoine Creel. They're all lying. Ricky Gutierrez, all these people, Humble Trader, they're all liars. Day trading is a lie. You're going to get blown out eventually. It's not sustainable. There's no competitive advantage. If you don't have a competitive advantage, buy the S&P 500 and stay away from the market. Don't follow any financial news ever. Just buy the S&P. I'll hold it forever. If you don't have a competitive advantage, you're never going to beat the S&P 500 long term, guaranteed. Competitive advantage. Because you can't compete against people like me, against Wall Street, against the pros, against the guys with the big funds, the insider information. You can't compete. You think you can. Good luck. Okay. Kevin has copied the whole Grant Cardone marketing scam model. Show your jet, talk about money, right? And now Kevin's got this house hack thing, which I believe is going to be a huge scam because Kevin's behind it. Anything this guy is behind, you better believe it needs to be assumed as a scam because this guy is a dishonest scam artist. So he's got his other channels here.
So you're here tomorrow to ring the bell.
It's not enough. One's not enough. He wants more and more and more. Money worshiper. I got one more. I want more content. They see that, folks, they throw content out. It's all about quantity over quality. I talked about this many years ago when Apple and then Amazon destroyed the publishing industry with the whole $9.99 book, the Kindle. It's all quantity. And now people don't have an ability. There's so much shit out there. It's just massive content everywhere that even if you have an inkling of being able to kind of see what's going on, you get fatigued. You eventually fall prey to all the bullshit because you can't get through all the shit. It's about disinformation, folks. It's about disinformation. Okay, that's why these people pump out. The more content they pump out, the more views they get, the more subscribers they get. It's about quantity, reaching more people. It's a volume game. You understand that? Okay, that's the whole scam behind the internet and ad-based content. What else we have here? So here we go. So let me just continue. This reminds me. Major banks warn of mega collapse coming prepared. Well, this is a day ago. Yesterday, you can see here. Well, guess what, folks? This is Mike Stathis, one of the top investment analysts in the world, predicted the details of the 2008 financial crisis, including nailing the bottom in the Dow. That's right. I talked about it, wrote about it a year and a half, actually 2.5 years before the bottom in the Dow. I wrote about the exact bottom in my book, Dow 6500. And I warned about it in 2008 as well in some articles published online. And then I wrote about it on the exact day, March 10th, 2009. Many other things I've done. I'm one of the top analysts in the world. Nobody can refute that. I think I'm actually the top. I'd like to see someone out there challenge me on that because I want to know, am I the number one guy? But here's the point. I don't know about any major collapse coming. So how does this guy know? And by the way, do you think Wall Street's accurate? Wall Street missed 2022 completely. I nailed 2022, the collapse. I warned people in early February to get out. I nailed the bottom. I predicted the bottom in October 2022. Okay? I nailed the bull market that we're in June 2023. I told people the market's going to soar. Wall Street missed everything. They only came in November, late November 21st, 23rd. 2023, and they came out with their bullish forecast. That's fact. In fact, Goldman Sachs was the last holdout. They had to raise their estimates of 2024 by December because they were looking like idiots. So there's 2 points here. First and foremost, if I don't know about any collapse, how do you know, Kevin? Number 2, all these fake investment gurus on YouTube, all they do is they just listen to CNBC and all other financial media. That's where they get their bullshit from. So you're listening to somebody who's listening to the dumb money. So you're listening to someone who's dumb. He doesn't know anything about stocks, Kevin, and he's going, his sources are dumb money. So it's doubly dumb. Complete. Now, I'm not here to talk about myself. Once again, I don't like to talk about myself and my accomplishments. I only do that so for you to understand it's important to know who you're listening to. Credibility. Everyone's opinion is not the same, right? What everyone has to say is not the same. How are you qualified? Kevin, how are you qualified to talk about stocks? You're not. Being state licensed doesn't mean shit. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't know anything about the stock market. Okay? So ask yourself the question, how am I qualified? And how much am I qualified? How credible am I when I come out and tell you about Kevin being a fraud and a scam artist? And about all these guys on YouTube being frauds and scam artists. These fake investment gurus. Ask yourself that question. Look into my track record, my research track record. Okay? The problem is that most of you, if you're listening on YouTube, you're too ignorant to even assess my credentials. You can't even understand what happened during the financial crisis. You can't even assess, you can't even put in proper context. You don't even understand the importance of what I've done. That's the problem. And to you people, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. I'm not an expert in every single topic. There's things that I don't know anything about. I'm naive. I'm stupid about. That's fine. For you people, if you don't have that certain level of understanding, you need to stay away. You need to buy the S&P index and stay away from all this shit. I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to help you from being exploited by these parasites on YouTube and the financial media. If you don't have a certain level of competence, whether it be in the investment world or even in the human nature world, understanding how to spot con men, just stay away from all that. You're better off buying the S&P and just holding it and staying away from all financial media. And you'll thank me in a few decades. Because if you don't do that, chances are you're going to mess up your life. And you're going to make scammers wealthy at your expense. Okay? Let's listen to this now here.
Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Hey
everyone, me Kevin here. Yeah, I'm official. Always starts that way. This guy is a fraud. Save everything from this guy. Download all his videos. He's gonna hide them. He's gonna delete them. Record everything from this guy. Save his private sessions, his live private sessions. Everything you can. Create an evidence file on this guy. Here we go, another scam. The Millionaire Symposium. Accelerate your wealth. I mean, who does this crap? This is Ty Lopez type of shit. This is even Robert Kiyosaki doesn't create this. And Robert Kiyosaki is one of the world's largest, best known con men, scammers. The guy's a complete fucking scammer and liar. Even Robert Kiyosaki doesn't do this shit. Look, he's going to teach you for $1,500 per person. What kind of a piece of garbage fraudster does this? This is a child who's been out of college for a few years. Wow. A lot of dumb people in the world. Here's his scam courses. Charges a lot of money. You can be a member, charge you only $10,000. Look, only $10,000 to join. Only $10,000 to join. I don't care if it's free. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose money following this guy. Guaranteed. Now, there's going to be someone who joins at the right time or does things on their own. So, due to luck. So I would say you have a 95% chance, and I'm going to guarantee it. A large audience of people are going to lose money. You listen to this guy. 95% chance over time. Lose your ass. That's what I believe. And when it comes to his direct scams, I think you're going to lose everything. Okay? You buy any of his courses, think about how much you're going to lose. Disinformation. Folks, if you're not getting a competitive advantage, you think this guy has a competitive advantage? No, he doesn't. If you're teaching basic shit, that's not a competitive advantage. That teaches you enough to be dangerous. and to cause yourself to lose your ass. Anybody charging for any type of information needs to be an expert. He's not an expert at anything except for conning people. He should be making courses, selling courses on how to con people, how to defraud people, how to scam people, how to lie and cheat your way into wealth. That's the only course he's qualified to sell. Daily wealth. Another scam. Oh, it's free. Free. Yeah. It's about patching you in, folks. It's kind of like the Amazon ecosystem. Why do you think that they push their Prime membership so much? Because once they got you into the Prime, they got you into their ecosystem. They have a constant communication with you, and you're going to be buying everything through Amazon. Same thing with these little free newsletters. He pays somebody to do it. It's just generic, stupid nonsense, little copywriting crap. But you're looking at the email, right? And eventually he's going to have, I got a special deal for you. You understand? It's about how con artists latch into you. You know, as a research provider, and I have, subscribers and so forth, I don't email anybody. Ever. I think if you have an email system and you're emailing people, oh, another article, you're trying to lure them into your cult. People look at my website, members look at articles, videos, whatever, as clients, when they want to. They come because they feel compelled, not because I'm constantly spamming them emails, by the way. And I'm using myself as an example. I don't know how many other people out there do that, but the whole email marketing system, that's email marketing has been created. That's a kind of morphed into a huge scam in and of itself. What do we have here? So he wants to pitch the whole AI bullshit. Everyone's into AI. AI this. Oh yeah, AI. Well, it's got to be AI. AI. Yeah, okay. I want to see. I saw somebody's name here that it's a con man. I think I want to see here when I was scrolling up. I want to show you guys. Let me see if I was right. I want to say that I saw the name Jim Rohn, who is one of Tony Robbins' teachers, former teachers. Did I see it, or I don't know. But you can bet that Meet Kevin is he's a student of Tony Robbins and a follower of Robert Kiyosaki. He wants to learn the tactics of conning people. You see, that's what I mentioned in the part one. How a long time ago I mentioned the real danger of people like Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki is that they're creating breeding grounds of new, younger generation scam artists, and that's what we see today. That's exactly what you see when you look at YouTube. So take a look at this guy. Look at his facial. Can you tell he's a con man just by looking at him? Look at that. Make more money and get shit done faster. Featuring AI. Okay. He wants to tell you to use ChatGPT to help you.
So a lot of people come to me and say, "Hey, Kevin,
a lot of people come to me and notice the fake little, once again, listen to Don Lepre, the exaggerated, weird, annoying speaking. When you hear that, that's another telltale sign of con man. Well, so a lot of people come to me and they say, well,
The second way to make money that I stumbled onto was placing tiny classified ads in the newspaper. If you create and test one tiny classified ad in the newspaper that makes just $30 to $40 profit in a week, it could make you a fortune.
You run all these businesses and get so much stuff.
Because you're not running real businesses. You're running kind of shell businesses, shell companies. It's hot air bullshit. That's what you're doing, Kevin. You're a scam artist. You're a parasite. You're a human, and I use that term loosely, human parasite. That's what you are. You're a ferociously dangerous scam artist.
Done, and yet you're still able to provide really good value.
Good value. Give me an example. You provide no value. You're a scammer.
Not just for free, publicly, but then you go into so much crazy detailed value that I didn't even know I needed in all these amazing courses that you have, and you keep adding value to
No,
them.
you don't. You're a liar and a scam artist. And by the way, anybody, this is another golden rule that I came out with many years ago. Anyone who, the typical scam artist will show you, they'll show you there. In this case, he doesn't refer to what, in other words, he could actually be posting advertisements on these networks. So the typical person's going to look at this and say, well, he's been featured on. So normally you'll say, been featured on. And it'll show the media companies. And they do this because they know they don't have any real results to show you. And they know that most people think the media is legitimate. And the fact is the media is not legitimate. In the vast majority of cases, the people are scammers or swindlers, you see. Because the media, remember, the media provides you content for free. And they do that because they make money through advertisements. Okay? So who's the product? You're the product, the audience. Why? Well, because they're going to deceive you for the benefit of their customers, the advertisers. The advertisers are the customers of ad-based content. Same thing with YouTube. You understand? The advertisers are the customers of the ad-based content, of the firms that provide ad-based content. So therefore, if the content is created in a way that creates more business for the advertisers, those advertisement slots are more valuable. Advertisers have to pay more money to show their ads. How can the content providers, the media firms, how can they create content that's more valuable for advertisers? By creating a higher conversion rate. You understand? By creating content that gets the viewers to click on to the ads. You understand now? This is why the media creates dumb money. In other words, and I've given this example, CNBC. CNBC, if you listen to CNBC and you follow the so-called experts there, which almost always, more than 9 out of 10 times, they're broken clocks or complete idiots and wrong. If you listen to them, you can lose money. And if you continue to do that, over time, you're going to be devastated and you're going to need help. So guess what? Who do you think advertises? Merrill Lynch, Charles Schwab, Bank of America, right? JP Morgan, mutual fund companies, insurance companies. They're there to help you. At some point, you realize you need some help. You understand? That's why the dumb money's created. It's also created to help their buddies on Wall Street. Easier to take money from you guys who they put in to a bad investment or trade that's getting ready to be sold by the Wall Street guys. They get you in and they sell at the top. Okay? The point is that anybody that shows this media as if they've been in the media or whatever, they're doing this because they want to create credibility. Because they think that you think, because most people do think the media is credible. And I'm here to tell you, whenever you see this, you know you're dealing with a chump. You're dealing with either a con man or a complete idiot. He needs to use this. Kevin, why don't you show us a track record, right? If you're providing value, you don't have a track record. Well, actually you do, but it's a disaster. And of course, you've removed most of your videos showing how you've lost people money that listen to you. You're a fraud.
How do you do that? Well,
You must use AI.
that is exactly what this course is all about. See, this course actually started...
This guy is such a scammer. He will create a course on anything. He's into this whole... This is the mindset. You become such a scammer that every single hot topic you're creating a course on. And write it down. You're going to see something else pop up in the future, some hot trend. He's going to have a course on it. The guy is an absolute disgusting, filthy scam artist, piece of garbage.
As the path to wealth. How can we get you to build your wealth by making more money, right?
The second way to make money that I stumbled onto was placing tiny classified ads in the newspaper. If you create and test one tiny classified ad in the newspaper that makes just $30 to $40 profit in a week, it could make you a fortune.
We then rebranded it to the Elite Hustlers Group because we wanted to make sure that you knew this was all...
Hustlers University. I mean, folks, what's funny is that this Generation X, I guess what it is, they think hustling is great. Hustle, how to hustle. Well, I don't know, but I remember hustling means it's kind of a scam. A street hustler. That means you're kind of scamming people. You understand? You're a scammer. Hustlers University. This guy makes Donald Trump seem like a completely honest and competent businessman. Okay? And we all know Donald Trump. He had Trump University. The guy's obviously a scam artist. I mean, Trump. But Kevin is so much worse. He makes Trump seem completely legitimate, completely honest, and everything that Trump has done is completely on the mark. Good. Legitimate. That's how, if you meet Kevin, that's how Trump looks. To give you an idea what a disgusting scammer this guy is.
terms of getting back as an investor, if it's coming down to here, almost irrespective of what's going on, I have to believe, if I have to make a call in advance, and of course I can change depending on what happens, but I have to believe this is where you want to start doing that 18, 17, around there. earnings report is a complete game changer, at least for quite a while. Bottom line, NVIDIA now is going to enter the realm of Tesla, Apple, and all these other big, I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works. I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works.